السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Hello everyone. Today we will study characters of the play. I mean the play Death of a Salesman, which was written by the American Arthur Miller. Death of a Salesman is Willie's play. Everything revolves around his actions during the last 24 hours of his life. All of the characters act in response to Willie, whether in the present or in the Willie's recollection of the past. Willie's character, emotions, motivations, and destiny are developed through his interactions with others. Here, about this character, Willie Lumen, the problem arises, however, because Willie reacts to characters in the present while simultaneously responding to different characters and different situations in the past. Willie's memories are key to understanding his character. He carefully selects memories or regrets past events in order to devise situations in which he is successful or to justify his current lack of prosperity. For example, Willie recalls Ben and the job he offered to Willie after being fired by Howard. Look, Willie is unable to deal with the idea that he has failed, so he relives Ben's visit. The memory allows Willie to deny the truth and its consequences, facing Linda and the boys after being fired, and to establish temporary order in his disrupted life. We will stay with Willy Loman, the main character in of the play. Willie's constant movement from the present to the past results in his contradictory nature. Although he fondly remembers Beth as a teenager, he is unable to communicate with Beth in the present. As a result, he praises Beth in one breath while criticizing him in the next. It is difficult enough for Willie to deal with Howard, his buyers, and the everyday reminders that he is not a great salesman. However, it is even more insufferable for Willie to accept the idea that he is a failure in his son's eyes. Willie sees himself as a failure. He is not Dave Singleman. Who is Singleman? Someone asked this question. Dave Singleman is a successful and renowned figure whom Willie revered and hoped to become. Singleman's profession was a salesman, and the way he made his living became very inspiring to Willie Lumen. Willie Loman is just ordinary salesman who has only made huge sales in his imagination. Now that he is growing old and less productive, the company he helped to build fires him. He regrets being unfaithful to his wife, even though he will never admit the affair to her. He is no longer a respectable man in Beth's eyes. Now we move to another character, Beth Lohmann. Beth Lohmann is a Willie's 34-year-old elder son. Beth led a charmed life in high school as a football star with scholarship prospects. He failed math, however, and did not have enough grades to graduate. Beth represents Willie's poetic and tragic side. He cannot ignore his instincts, which tell him to abandon Willie's paralyzing dreams and move out west to walk with his hands. He ultimately fails to reconcile his life with Willie's expectation of him. Like Willie and Happy, Beth feels compelled to seek the truth about himself, while his father and brother are unable to accept the miserable reality of their respective lives. Beth acknowledges his failure and eventually manages to confront it. Now we move to another character, the second brother. He is Willie Loman. Happy is a young version of Willie. He incorporates his father's habit of manipulating reality in order to create situations that are more favorable to him. Happy grew up listening to Willie embellish the truth, so it is not surprising that Happy exaggerates his position in order to create the illusion of success. Instead of admitting he is an assistant to the assistant, Happy lies and tells everyone he is the assistant buyer. This is Willie's philosophy all over again. Happy is similar to Willie in two ways. Both deny their positions and exaggerate details in order to aggrandize themselves, and sexual interludes are the defining moments of both of their lives. Now we move to important character in the play, Linda Loman, the wife and the mother in the play. Linda is a woman in difficult situation. She knows that Willie is suicidal, irrational, and difficult to deal with. However, she goes along with Willie's fantasies in order to protect him from the criticism of others and as well as his own self-criticism. Linda is Willie's champion. She gently approaches him when it comes to paying the bills and communicating with Beth, and she does not lose her temper when he becomes angry. Linda knows that Willie is secretly borrowing money from Charlie to pay the life insurance and other bills. She has discovered the rubber hose behind the hater and lives in fear that Willie will try to choke himself. She is also aware that he has attempted to kill himself several times before. Despite all this, Linda does nothing, afraid to aggravate Willie's fragile mental condition. In fact, Linda even throws Bill and Happy out when their behavior threatens to upset Willie. In many ways, Willie is like a small child, and Linda is like a mother who anxiously protect him from Biff, Happy, and the rest of the world. Now we move to the secondary characters of the play. First, we will start with Charlie. He is Willie's next door neighbor. Charlie owns a successful business and his son, Bernard, is a wealthy, important lawyer. Willie is jealous of Charlie's success. Charlie gives Willie money to pay his bills, and Willie reveals at one point, choking back tears, that Charlie is his only friend. The second character, Uncle Ben. He is Willie's older brother. He made a fortune in the African jungle by the time he was 21 years old. He once offered Willie a job in Alaska. Ben appears in the play only in Willie's memories and fantasies. Bernard, he is Charlie's son. He provided Beth with answers while they were in high school and attempted to help Biff study so that he would graduate, even though Willie and Biff would criticize him. He's a successful lawyer. Bernard appears in Willie's memories as well as in the present. Now we move to another secondary character, the woman. She is Willie's former lover, with whom he had an affair many years ago in Boston. Beth discovered the affair when she came out of the bathroom while he was in the room. She appears only in Willie's memories. However, as the play progresses, Willie has difficulty distinguishing between his memories of the women and his memories of Linda. The last secondary character, Howard Wanger. He is Willie's current boss. He put Willie on strike commission prior to the play's beginning, and later he fires him. Howard is a businessman, unaffected by the fact that Willie worked for his father and named him as a child. Now we finished from the characters of the play, and in the next lecture we will discuss the theme of the play. Thank you and goodbye.